Elena, sign it. A cold divorce agreement slid across the mahogany desk, and Ryan Henderson's handsome face held no warmth, like the woman across from him wasn't his wife of 3 years, but a stranger he'd never met. Elena's fingers tightened around her paper coffee cup. The warm liquid inside did nothing to thaw the chill in her chest. She looked up, her hazel eyes glistening with hurt and disbelief. Ryan, why? We were fine. Yesterday you said we'd go to Napa this weekend, remember? Yesterday was yesterday. Today's today. Ryan cut her off, his tone sharp with impatience. Quit lying to yourself, Elena. There's no love left here. Dragging this out hurts no one but you. His words sliced through her like a rusted blade. For 3 years, she'd given him everything. She'd quit her dream design job to manage their home, stayed up nights editing his business proposals, even borrowed money from her late parents' savings to fund his first promotion at Henderson Corporation. Now that he was VP of the Los Angeles branch, he was tossing her aside like trash. The office door clicked open. A woman in a cream lace dress, Olivia Carter, Elena's once best friend, the one she'd begged Ryan to hire as his assistant, sashayed in and looped her arm around Ryan's waist. Her sky-blue eyes flicked to Elena, sharp with triumph masked as innocence. Lena, I'm so sorry. Olivia's voice quivered, like she was the one wronged. Ryan and we're in love. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive us. In love? Elena let out a bitter laugh, tears spilling down her cheeks. Ryan, do you forget when you were sleeping on a fold-out couch, eating ramen every night? Who stayed up with you when you had the flu? Olivia, when your mom had cancer, who drove her to chemo every week? Who lent you $10,000 when your dad lost his job? This is how you repay me. Ryan's jaw tightened. He pulled a checkbook from his desk, scribbled a number, and slid it to her. The past is the past. Here, $500,000. It's enough to rent a nice place in Silver Lake, maybe start over. Take it. $500,000 to erase 3 years of her life. Elena stood up, grabbed the check, and tore it into tiny pieces. The fluttered down, landing on Ryan's crisp white shirt and Olivia's perfect dress. You two make me sick. Her voice shook, but her eyes blazed. I'll sign the divorce papers, but I don't want your dirty money. Enjoy your little affair. I hope it haunts you. She turned and walked out, slamming the door behind her. The moment she stepped into the Los Angeles afternoon, a thunderstorm broke. Cold rain soaked her hair and dress, but it didn't compare to the ice in her chest. She wandered aimlessly down Rodeo Drive, her vision blurred by rain and tears, until a black Rolls-Royce Phantom pulled up beside her. The window rolled down, revealing a face so handsome it bordered on dangerous. Nick Blackwood wore a tailored black Armani suit, his dark hair gelled back, and his gray eyes, sharp as flint, locked on her. He was the CEO of Blackwood Group, the biggest multinational conglomerate in the country. Elena had seen his photo on the cover of Forbes 100 times, but in person, his presence was overwhelming. Get in. His voice was deep, commanding, no room for argument. Elena hesitated. She didn't know this man. But the rain was getting worse, and she had nowhere to go. Ryan had changed the locks on their Santa Monica condo that morning. She pulled open the door and slid into the leather seat. The interior was warm, filled with the scent of cedar and Nick's cologne. He handed her a monogrammed towel. Dry off. You'll catch a cold. Elena dabbed at her face, stealing glances at him. He stared straight ahead, his jaw set, but his eyes kept flicking to her red, puffy eyes. Ryan Henderson did this to you. It wasn't a question. Elena froze. You know him? Nick's lip curled in a faint sneer. Blackwood Group has a partnership with Henderson Corporation. I know all about Ryan, his greed, his lack of spine. He's been kissing up to my board for months, trying to expand their tech division. Elena's throat went dry. She'd had no idea Ryan was working with Blackwood. "I'm Elena, by the way." "Nick." He didn't elaborate, but he nodded at the driver. "Take us to the Beverly Hills house." Elena's eyes widened. The Beverly Hills house. Nick Blackwood's mansion was legendary, 20,000 square feet, with a pool that overlooked the city. "I can't stay with you. We barely know each other." Nick turned to her, his gray eyes softening for a split second. "You have nowhere else to go. And I don't like seeing innocent people get hurt. One night. That's all." Elena couldn't argue. By the time they pulled up to the mansion, she was so tired she could barely stand. A maid led her to a guest room with a king-size bed and a marble bathroom. After a hot shower and a bowl of chicken noodle soup the chef made, Elena collapsed into bed and fell asleep. For the first time in weeks, she didn't dream of Ryan or Olivia. Chapter 2 First Showdown, Fangs Bared. Elena woke up to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. She stretched, then froze. This wasn't her room. Then the memories came flooding back, the divorce papers, the rain, Nick. She threw on the robe the maid had left and headed downstairs. Nick was sitting at the kitchen island, reading the Wall Street Journal, a cup of black coffee in front of him. The kitchen was sleek and modern, with a view of the pool. "Morning." He looked up, his gray eyes warm. "Did you sleep well?" Elena nodded, taking a seat across from him. "Thank you. For letting me stay. And for the soup." Nick waved it off. "It's nothing. What's your plan today?" Elena's shoulders slouched. "I don't know. Ryan fired me from Henderson's design team yesterday, said, it's a conflict of interest now. I need to find a new job, but..." She trailed off. Her portfolio was at the condo, and Ryan wouldn't let her near it. Nick set down his newspaper. "You're a designer." "I was. I specialized in residential interiors. I worked on a few of Henderson's luxury condo projects." Elena's voice softened. Design was her passion, not just a job. Nick's eyes lit up. "Blackwood Group owns Aurora Designs, our in-house design firm. They're looking for senior interior designers. You should interview." Elena blinked. "Aurora Designs? But I don't have my portfolio. And I don't have any connections there." Nick pulled a business card from his pocket and slid it to her. "Give this to Clara Bennett, she's the director. Tell her I sent you. And for your portfolio, my assistant will go to your condo and get your things. Ryan won't stop him." Elena stared at the card, her throat tight. "Why are you doing this for me? You don't even know me." Nick leaned forward, his gray eyes intense. "Because I hate seeing people like Ryan win. And because I think you're talented. I saw the designs you did for Henderson's Brentwood condos. They were good, better than anything their team has done since." Elena's heart fluttered. No one had believed in her like that since her parents died. "Thank you. I won't let you down." An hour later, Nick's driver dropped her at Aurora Designs' office in downtown LA. Clara Bennett, a sharp-dressed woman in her 40s, greeted her with a smile. "Nick called this morning. He said you're the best thing since sliced bread. Let's see if he's right." Elena's portfolio arrived 10 minutes later. When Clara saw her designs, especially the modern, cozy interiors she'd created for a low-income housing project, her eyes widened. "You're hired. Start Monday. Salary's 20% higher than what Henderson was paying you." Elena walked out of Aurora Designs floating. She had a job, a good job. She pulled out her phone to text Nick, but hesitated. She didn't want him to think she was using him. Instead, she went to a cafe and ordered a latte, smiling for the first time in weeks. The next few days were a blur. Elena found a small apartment in Venice Beach, signed the divorce papers. Ryan didn't even show up to the lawyer's office, and prepared for her first day at Aurora. She thought things were finally looking up, until Olivia called. "Lena. I'm so glad I found your number." Olivia's voice was sickly sweet. "Ryan and I are getting engaged. We're having a party at the Beverly Hills Hotel next week. We want you to come. We want to apologize, properly." Elena's blood boiled. "Apologize? You two cheated on me, fired me, and now you want me to celebrate your engagement? Are you insane? Lena, don't be like that." Olivia's voice dropped to a fake whisper. "Ryan misses you. He says he made a mistake. He wants to talk to you, alone. Please." Elena hung up, but her hands were shaking. She knew Olivia was lying, but the thought of Ryan wanting her back made her stomach turn. She tried to focus on work, but the next morning, when she walked out of her apartment, Ryan was leaning against his Tesla, waiting for her. "Elena." He stepped forward, his brown eyes pleading. "I'm sorry. I was an idiot. Olivia means nothing to me, she tricked me. I want you back. We can start over." Elena stepped back, disgust curling in her gut. "Ryan, stop. We're divorced. I don't love you anymore. And Olivia didn't trick you, you chose her. Now get out of my way." Ryan grabbed her arm, his grip tight. "You can't just walk away from us. We were married for 3 years. Let go of her." Nick's voice cut through the air. He was leaning against his Rolls-Royce, his gray eyes icy. Ryan froze, his face turning pale. "Everyone in LA knew Nick Blackwood, you didn't cross him. Mr. Blackwood." Ryan let go of Elena's arm, his voice shaking. "I was just talking to my ex-wife." Ex-wife is the key word. Nick stepped forward, putting his arm around Elena's shoulders. "Elena is with me now. If you so much as look at her again, I'll make sure Henderson Corporation goes bankrupt by the end of the week. Understand?" Ryan's face went white. He nodded, then scrambled into his Tesla and drove away. Elena let out a breath she didn't know she was holding, leaning into Nick's side. "Thank you." She looked up at him, her heart racing. "You didn't have to do that." Nick brushed a strand of hair off her face, his touch gentle. "I told you, you're with me now. I don't let anyone hurt the people I care about." Elena's cheeks heated up. "Care about?" Nick's lips curved into a smile, a real smile, not the polite one he used for business. "Yeah. I do." He opened the car door for her. As they drove to Aurora Designs, Elena stared out the window, her mind racing. Nick Blackwood was dangerous because he made her forget all about Ryan, all about the pain. And she was starting to think that wasn't a bad thing. Chapter 3: Stolen Designs, Vicious Counterattack. Elena's first month at Aurora Designs was perfect. The team was friendly, Clara was a great boss, and she got to work on projects she loved, including a high-end penthouse in downtown LA for a famous actress. But the biggest project of the year was still to come, designing the model homes for Blackwood Group's new luxury development in Malibu, called Oceanfront. Clara called Elena into her office one afternoon, a smile on her face. "Oceanfront is ours. And I want you to lead the design team. Nick personally asked for you." Elena's eyes widened. "Me? But I just started. Nick says you're the best person for the job. And I agree." Clara handed her a folder. "The presentation to Nick and the board is in 2 weeks. Don't let us down." Elena spent the next 2 weeks working day and night. She stayed late at the office, sketching designs, picking out fabrics, and meeting with contractors. She wanted this project to be perfect, not just for Aurora, but for Nick. The night before the presentation, she saved her final design files to her laptop and went home, exhausted but excited. She didn't notice Olivia lingering in the parking lot, watching her leave. The next day, Elena arrived at Blackwood Group's headquarters in Century City, her laptop in hand. The boardroom was huge, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Nick sat at the head of the table, his gray eyes focused. Elena took a deep breath and started her presentation. I wanted oceanfront's model homes to feel like a retreat, luxurious, but cozy. She clicked through her slides: a living room with floor-to-ceiling windows facing the ocean, a kitchen with a marble island and a breakfast nook, a master bedroom with a walk-in closet and a balcony. I used natural materials, teak, marble, linen, to keep it warm, and pops of blue to tie it to the ocean. And every room has smart home technology, voice-controlled lights, thermostats, even window shades. The board members nodded, smiling. Nick's lips curved into a faint smile, approval. Elena's heart raced. She was almost done. Then the door slammed open. Olivia walked in, holding a stack of papers, her face. Sorry I'm late, Mr. Blackwood. I have Henderson Corporation's design proposal for oceanfront. Elena's blood turned to ice. Olivia's papers, they looked exactly like her sketches. Olivia, what are you doing? Elena stood up, her voice shaking. Those designs are mine. You stole them. Olivia put a hand to her chest, feigning shock. Lena. What are you talking about? These are my designs, I've been working on them for months. You're just jealous because Ryan chose me, and now you want to steal my job too. Ryan followed her in, standing beside Olivia. Mr. Blackwood, Elena is lying. Olivia is Henderson's top designer, she's been working on oceanfront since we first heard about the project. Elena must have copied her. Elena stared at them, horrified. I didn't copy her. I saved these files to my laptop last night. Olivia must have hacked into it. She was in the parking lot yesterday. No one hacked into anything. Olivia held up a USB drive. I have my original files, dated 3 months ago. Ask your IT team, they can check. The board members whispered to each other. Elena's hands clenched into fists. She had no proof, no one had seen her work on the designs except Clara, and Clara was on her side, but would the board believe her over Henderson Corporation? Nick held up a hand, silencing everyone. He took Olivia's papers and Elena's laptop, flipping through the designs. Olivia, he said, his voice calm but sharp, tell me about the master bathroom shower design. Why did you choose a rainhead and body jets instead of a walk-in tub? Olivia froze. She hadn't thought about that, she'd just copied Elena's sketch. I thought a shower was more modern. Walk-in tubs are for older people. Nick turned to Elena. Elena? Elena took a deep breath, her confidence returning. The target demographic for oceanfront is young professionals and families. A walk-in tub takes up too much space, and most people prefer showers. But I didn't just put in a rain head, I designed a dual system, rain head for relaxation, body jets for muscle relief. And the shower has a built-in bench and a glass wall that slides open to the balcony, so you can shower while looking at the ocean. I also worked with a plumber to make sure the water pressure is perfect, no cold spots. The board members nodded, impressed. Olivia's face turned red. Nick set down the papers. Olivia, you couldn't even explain your own design. And my IT team checked your USB drive, those files were created last night, not 3 months ago. They have Elena's original file metadata embedded in them. Olivia's mouth dropped open. That's not true. It is true. Nick's assistant walked in, holding a printout. We also found evidence that someone accessed Elena's laptop from a public Wi-Fi network in the Aurora parking lot last night. The IP address traces back to Olivia's phone. The room went quiet. Olivia stumbled back, tears in her eyes. Ryan, help me. Ryan looked at her, then at Nick. He stepped away, his face cold. I don't know her. She lied to me, said she had a real design. Olivia stared at him, betrayed. You said you loved me. You said we'd take over oceanfront together. Nick stood up, his voice icy. Security, remove Ms. Carter. And as for Henderson Corporation, he turned to Ryan, his gray eyes lethal. Blackwood Group is terminating all partnerships with Henderson. Effective immediately. And I'll be suing you for intellectual property theft. Ryan's face turned white. Mr. Blackwood, please, we need this partnership. Henderson will go under without it. Nick didn't care. Get out. Before I have you arrested for trespassing. Ryan and Olivia were dragged out of the boardroom. The board members turned to Elena, smiling. Ms. Carter, your designs are brilliant. Oceanfront is yours. Elena let out a breath, her legs shaking. Nick walked over to her, putting a hand on her back. You did great. She looked up at him, her eyes shining. Thank you. For believing me. Nick's thumb brushed her cheek. I always will. In that moment, Elena knew, she was falling for him. Hard. Chapter 4 Feelings Grow, Sweet Heat. The Oceanfront project was a huge success. Elena's designs were featured in Architectural Digest, and Blackwood Group sold out all 50 units in 3 days. Clara threw a party at her Malibu house to celebrate, and Nick showed up, with a bottle of Dom Perignon and a smile just for Elena. Congratulations. He handed her a glass of champagne. You deserve this. Elena took the glass, her fingers brushing his. I couldn't have done it without you. You gave me the chance. Nick leaned against the deck railing, looking out at the ocean. You earned it. Your talent speaks for itself. He turned to her, his gray eyes soft. I've been wanting to ask you something. Would you like to go out to dinner with me? Just us. Elena's heart skipped a beat. I'd like that. Their first date was at a small Italian restaurant in Little Italy, no paparazzi, no business talk, just them. Nick told her about growing up in New York, how his father had died when he was 10 and he'd taken over Blackwood Group at 25. Elena told him about her parents, how they'd owned a small design firm in Chicago, how they'd died in a car crash when she was 18. I miss them every day. She twisted her napkin in her hands. They always said I should follow my dreams, no matter what. Nick reached across the table, taking her hand. They'd be proud of you. You're doing exactly what they wanted. Elena smiled, tears in her eyes. Thank you. After that, they were inseparable. Nick would pick her up from work every night, take her to the movies, cook her breakfast on Sundays. He was a surprisingly good cook. He introduced her to his sister, Emily, who lived in San Francisco, and Emily loved her, finally, someone who can put Nick in his place. But not everyone was happy for them. Sophia Montgomery, Nick's childhood friend and the heiress to Montgomery Enterprises, showed up at a Blackwood charity gala, wearing a diamond necklace that cost more than Elena's apartment. Nicky. She hugged him, then turned to Elena, her nose in the air. You must be Elena. I've heard so much about you, all good, of course. Her tone said otherwise. Elena held out her hand. Nice to meet you, Sophia. Sophia didn't shake it. Nick, can I talk to you? Alone. Nick sighed, but nodded. I'll be right back. Sophia pulled him to the side, but Elena could still hear her. Nick, what are you doing with her? She's a nobody, no family, no money. You need someone like me, someone who can help Blackwood Group. Someone who's your equal. Elena's hands tightened into fists. She was about to walk away when Nick walked back, his arm around her waist. Sophia and I were just catching up. Ready to go. When they pulled away, Nick's forehead was pressed to hers. I love you, Elena. Elena's breath caught. I love you too, Nick. They spent the night at Nick's Beverly Hills mansion. In the morning, Elena woke up to Nick making pancakes, and she thought, this is happiness. This is what she'd been missing all her life. But happiness never lasts forever. Not for her. A month later, Elena got a call from a man claiming to be Nick's grandfather, Mr. Blackwood Sr. He sounded weak, his voice trembling. Elena, my boy won't tell me what's wrong, but I know he's upset. Can you come to the hospital? I'm at Cedars-Sinai, room 302. I need to talk to you. About Nick. Elena's heart dropped. She'd never met Nick's grandfather. Nick said he lived in Palm Beach and they weren't close, but she couldn't say no. She told Clara she'd be late, then rushed to the hospital. Room 302 was empty except for Sophia, who was sitting in a chair, filing her nails. Elena. You made it. Sophia stood up, an evil smile on her face. Grandpa's not here, by the way. I just needed a reason to get you alone. Elena turned to leave, but two large men blocked the door. What do you want, Sophia? Sophia walked over to her, her voice cold. I want you to leave Nick. He's mine. You think you can just waltz into his life and take him from me? You're nothing but a gold digger. I'm not a gold digger. Elena stepped back, her heart racing. Nick loves me. He'll never choose you. Sophia laughed. Love? Nick doesn't love you. He's just using you to get back at me. And when he's bored, he'll throw you away. Just like Ryan did. Elena's blood boiled. Don't you dare talk about Ryan. You don't know anything about me. I know enough. Sophia nodded at the men. Take her. We're going to a little vacation home in the hills. Nick will never find her. The men grabbed Elena's arms. She screamed, but Sophia covered her mouth with a cloth. Everything went black. When Elena woke up, she was in a small, dark room. Her hands were tied to the bedpost, and her mouth was taped shut. The door opened, and Sophia walked in, holding a glass of water. Good morning, Sleeping Beauty. She set the glass down. Nick's been calling your phone non-stop. He's panicking. It's adorable. Elena struggled against the ropes, but they were too tight. Sophia knelt down, her face inches from Elena's. Tell me you'll leave Nick. And I'll let you go. No questions asked. Elena shook her head. She wouldn't give up on Nick. Sophia sighed. Fine. Have it your way. She pulled out her phone and called Nick. Nicky, I have Elena. If you want her back, you have to meet me at the old warehouse in downtown LA, alone. And you have to tell me you'll marry me. Otherwise, well, you'll never see her again. She hung up, then smiled at Elena. This is going to be fun. When Elena woke up, she was in a small, dark room. Her hands were tied to the bedpost, and her mouth was taped shut. The door opened, and Sophia walked in, holding a glass of water. Good morning, Sleeping Beauty. She set the glass down. Nick's been calling your phone non-stop. He's panicking. It's adorable. Elena struggled against the ropes, but they were too tight. Sophia knelt down, her face inches from Elena's. Tell me you'll leave Nick. And I'll let you go. No questions asked. Elena shook her head. She wouldn't give up on Nick. Sophia sighed. Fine. Have it your way. She pulled out her phone and called Nick. Nicky, I have Elena. If you want her back, you have to meet me at the old warehouse in downtown LA, alone. And you have to tell me you'll marry me. Otherwise, well, you'll never see her again. She hung up, then smiled at Elena. This is going to be fun. An hour later, they heard a car pull up. Sophia grabbed Elena's arm, dragging her to the warehouse floor. Nick was standing there, his face hard, his gray eyes scanning the room. Elena. He stepped forward, but Sophia pulled a gun from her purse and pressed it to Elena's head. Stop right there, Nicky. Or she gets it. Nick froze. Let her go, Sophia. This is between you and me. Between us? Sophia laughed. It's always been between us. You should have married me when we were kids. We could have ruled LA together. But no, you had to go and fall for this nobody. Elena looked at Nick, her eyes begging him not to give in. He shook his head, his lips mouthing, I love you. Then, sirens wailed outside. Sophia's eyes widened. No. How did they find us? The police have been tracking your phone since you called me. Nick stepped forward, his voice calm. Let her go, Sophia. It's over. Sophia screamed, then pushed Elena away. She pointed the gun at Nick, but a police officer tackled her to the ground, disarming her. Nick ran to Elena, untying her ropes and pulling her into his arms. Are you okay? Did she hurt you? Elena shook her head, crying. I'm okay. I knew you'd find me. Nick kissed her forehead, his hands shaking. I'll never let anyone hurt you again. I promise. Sophia was arrested for kidnapping and assault. Montgomery Enterprises collapsed after the scandal, and her father disowned her. But that wasn't the end of Elena's surprises. A week later, Nick took Elena to her parents' old house in Chicago. He had it renovated, just like it was when she was a kid. Nick, this is amazing. Elena walked into the living room, tears in her eyes. How did you? Nick took her hand, leading her to a desk. I found something. Your parents' old files. Elena, your parents' car crash wasn't an accident. Elena's heart stopped. What are you talking about? Nick pulled out a folder. Ryan's father, Robert Henderson, was your parents' business partner. He wanted to take over their company. So he tampered with their brakes. Then he forged documents to make it look like they were in debt, and he took over the company. That's how Henderson Corporation got its start. Elena stared at the folder, her hands shaking. Her parents' death wasn't an accident. Ryan's father had killed them. And Ryan, he'd known. He'd lied to her for 3 years. I'm so sorry, Elena. Nick pulled her into his arms. I should have told you sooner, but I wanted to be sure. The police are already on it. Robert Henderson is in Mexico, but we're extraditing him back to the US. He'll pay for what he did. Elena cried into Nick's chest. All the pain, all the anger, it was finally making sense. But with Nick by her side, she knew she could get through it. A month later, Robert Henderson was extradited. He pleaded guilty to murder and fraud, and was sentenced to life in prison. Ryan, who knew about his father's crimes and helped cover them up, was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Henderson Corporation was dissolved, and Nick bought Elena's parents' old company, giving it back to her. Now you can run it like your parents wanted. He said, handing her the keys. Elena hugged him, her heart full. Thank you. For everything. Chapter 6: A Grand Wedding, Forever Happiness. Nick proposed to Elena on the beach in Hawaii, where they'd gone for a vacation after Robert's trial. He got down on one knee, holding a diamond ring that had belonged to his mother. Elena Marie Carter, I love you. I love your strength, your kindness, your talent. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me? Elena nodded, tears streaming down her face. Yes. I will. Their wedding was the event of the year. They got married on a private beach in Maui, with 100 guests, Emily, Clara, Elena's old friends from Chicago, and even a few of Nick's board members. Elena wore a white lace dress with a long veil, and Nick wore a white tuxedo. The priest asked Nick, Do you, Nicholas James Blackwood, take Elena Marie Carter to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do you part. Nick looked at Elena, his grey eyes filled with love. I do. Then it was Elena's turn. Do you, Elena Marie Carter, take Nicholas James Blackwood to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do you part? I do. They kissed, and the guests cheered. The reception was on the beach, with torches, music, and a cake shaped like the ocean. Nick danced with Elena, holding her close. I love you, he whispered in her ear. I love you too, she whispered back. A year later, Elena gave birth to a little girl named Lila Rose Blackwood. She had Nick's gray eyes and Elena's hazel hair. Nick was a doting father. He'd leave work early to read her bedtime stories, change her diapers, and even take her to the park at 6 a.m. Elena ran her parents' design firm, now called Carter and Blackwood Designs, and it became one of the most successful firms in the country. She and Nick traveled the world together, took Lila to Disney World, and spent weekends at their Malibu house. Sometimes, Elena thought about Ryan and Olivia, about Sophia and Robert. They were all in prison, paying for their crimes. And she was here, happy, with the man she loved and a beautiful daughter. She'd been through hell, betrayal, kidnapping, loss. But she'd come out the other side. And she knew, as long as Nick was by her side, she could handle anything. Their love wasn't perfect. They fought sometimes, about work, about Lila's bedtime, about silly things. But they always made up. Because they loved each other, more than anything. Elena looked at Nick, who was playing with Lila in the pool. He looked up, and their eyes met. He smiled, and she smiled back. This was her happy ending. And it was perfect.